Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the 7th update in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project Pan. This is the eyeshadow centric project that I feel like has just blown up this year, and there's good reason for it for sure because this is such a fun project Pan. It really does make me feel inspired to play with colors, and it gives me an opportunity to really get to know some of my eyeshadow palettes that I may not otherwise reach for outside of this project Pan. And I have my friend Alexi definitely to thank for giving me this inspiration and giving me this excitement to play with my own collection. She started this project, I think back in 2017, and she just killed it in that project those last couple years that she did it. This year and last year she's not been participating in this project Pan, but I still want to thank her endlessly for the inspiration to do this project. So many people have been joining in and doing this project this year, and every time I open up my YouTube app, I see a new suggestion for a Pan Those Eyeshadows video, and I can't help myself but watch it. It's just so much fun to see people randomly selecting eyeshadows from their collection and working on them. It's been so much fun. As much fun as I'm having with this project, I am going to be upfront with you guys right here and now. The 5 shadows that I'm working on, I have not yet hit pan on, which I think this is the first update of this project that I have not hit pan on a single shadow. Yeah, it must be. I don't know, but in any case, some months it just doesn't happen, and I'm going to share with you guys my progress, share with you guys some looks, let you know how often I have used each of the shadows, and so we're just going to hop on into the update. So let's kick off this update with the palette that has been in this project the longest, which is my ABH Norvina Volume 1 palette. This is a palette that I've now been focusing on for 4 months of this project Pan, and you guys have seen I've been wearing a ton of yellow looks. The shade that I'm focusing on is D1, which is that matte yellow shade. I've been wearing a ton of yellow. I've worn it 11 times this month, which is a pretty big number for me personally. I don't tend to use my eyeshadows more than maybe 10 times in a month, but I am so motivated to hit pan on this. 2 of those times I did use it as like my highlighting draping thing, which I recently posted a video showing you guys how I did that technique. I'm honestly so confused and just like mind blown that I have not yet hit pan on this. I've now used it 30 times in this project Pan, and like I said, I've worn it as a draping highlight kind of situation. I wear it all over my lid. I'm wearing it today in like my crease and on my lower lash line. Like, I just use so much of this shadow whenever I do reach for it because it kind of just diffuses out. It's kind of sheer, so I can really pack it on. And there still is no pan after 30 uses, but it was relatively untouched before I rolled it into this project. So I don't know. I'm pretty taken aback by the fact that this still doesn't have any pan, but I'm really hoping for next update to have some pan. You guys will see in my comparisons that there is a really good dip in this palette. However, I don't know how deep these pans are. I've never panned anything else in here. I was working on this shade before. I used it 15 times and the dent is like very minor, so I don't know. I'm honestly shocked, but in any case, I do like yellows. I'm not yet feeling super burnt out by it, but I feel like I don't want to reach for it 11 times again next month because then a lot of my looks just are very yellow focused and I want to play with other colors in my collection. I'm just feeling like yellow is taking over my life, and I'm so freaking determined to hit pan on this, even though I've given myself an exception that if an item has been in this project for 3 months and I've used it 15 times, I can roll it out of this project. I'm just far too determined with this shade. I need to hit pan on it. So it will be remaining in this project until the time comes. And here is a swatch of that yellow. As you can see, it's quite sheer. It definitely takes quite a bit of building. I dip into it a lot in order to create looks, and we still have no pan, but hopefully next month. This next palette is the Juvia's Place, the Zulu palette. This has been in this project now for 2 months, and the eyeshadow that I'm focusing on is the matte orange, shade number 1 right here. Obviously, you guys can tell I have not yet hit pan on it, but if I kind of move it around, you can see there's a pretty decent sized dip in there, but in comparison to the matte yellow beside it, you know that I'm nowhere near pan with this yet. I did use it 7 times this month. To date is that 7th time that I reached for it. I have it all Why am I so tongue-tied? I have it all over my lid, and then I actually used it underneath of a blush today. So I popped this onto my cheeks, and then I used my Milani Luminoso blush on top of it. So that's why my blush is very heavy and very bold. But it was kind of a fun experiment just to see. I do think I want to play with this month, using it in the draping kind of situation that I did with the yellow. I think I want to give that a try this month so that I can get some serious use on it. See how this looks on my like more tan skin at the moment as well. I think it might look really fun. So I definitely need to amp up my uses on it for the next month. So far in this project, I have used it now 13 times. I think it's gonna take at least another 13 to 15 times to hit pan on it, given where the dip is at right now. It might even need more than that because there was a little bit of wear before I put it into this project. In any case, I am enjoying reaching for it. I'm enjoying reaching for this palette in its entirety, and this is the perfect time of year to reach for this orange. I'll give you guys a swatch of it here. It's just a beautiful, like true orange shade with a matte finish, and I do find that it's quite sheer as well, so it's quite buildable. I can get a very light wash of it, but then I can go pretty intense with it as well, and I do like that it's a bit more customizable. But I don't know if I'll have pan next month. We will see. I doubt it, but we will see. This next palette is one of my newest palettes in my collection actually, and this is the Magic Mini by Juvia's Place. And the shade that I'm working on in this palette is called Osun, which is that light pink. It's like a very pale silvery pink shade. And I've only used it a handful of times, guys. This is just the one that I'm like the least motivated to reach for. In fact, I only used it 8 times. Well, that's actually pretty good. I used it 8 times this month, but in total through the 2 months that this has been in this project, I've only used it 12 times. So there's a lot of work to be done in order to hit pan on it. I think most likely the way I'm going to use it in the next couple months is probably use it as a nail polish. I haven't tried it that way yet, and I think I will give it a shot, see how it looks. I'm not sure that I'll love it on my nails, but it's worth a try, and that way I can use a fair amount of product from it as well. But given that this is one of my newer palettes in my collection, when I open this up to reach for Osun, I actually want to delve into like all of the other shades over Osun. And so I have been reaching for this palette and using this palette quite a lot, but I just haven't been integrating Osun into a ton of looks. It just hasn't really been my vibe. In fact, I'm gonna be honest, it's probably one of my least favorite shades in this palette. But in any case, I did randomize it, so I'm gonna keep trying to use it. But next month, this might be something that I decide to roll out once I've hit that 3 months and 15 use threshold. So here is a swatch of Osun, and as you can see, it's a very pearly light pink color, and I did get a lot of suggestions last update to use this as a highlight, and I've not yet done that. I don't know why. So this month I'm definitely going to use it not only as a highlight but also as a nail polish, and hopefully we can see some serious usage on it by next update. This next palette is my always and forever grubby Fenty Beauty Galaxy palette. It's just filthy. The packaging just will not ever look clean. But in any case, I'm working on the shade right here called Milky Way. This palette has also been in this project for 2 months. I pulled all 3 of those palettes in the same update of this project, and I do feel like I'm starting to make a decent sized dip in here. It definitely is pretty substantial, but no pan yet. As I've already said, there's no pan in here yet. But in any case, it's getting close. It's getting pretty close, because I can see in comparison to the other 2 pans that I do already have in this palette that I could get there potentially this month. I'm not so sure that I'll reach for it enough this month, but it is a really fun color. I'm wearing it today on my inner corner on top of a like light gold highlighter. I'm wearing the Fenty Hustla Baby, and then I just popped this on top because I wanted this to read a little bit warmer than it does otherwise. So I actually used this shade 8 times this month, but in all honesty, most of the times that I did reach for it was like an inner corner or a brow bone highlight. Oh, I forgot, I am wearing it on my brow bone today as well. But that's usually how I reach for this. I haven't really worn it as like an all over the lid shade, I think ever. Maybe I did. I think I did once actually. I'll have pictures to show you guys what I've done with it because I can't remember at this moment. But yeah, so I reached for it 8 times this month. and a total of 14 uses throughout this project pan. So not terrible. I'm getting close to that 15 uses, but this is one of those shades that I am gonna just keep in the project until I've hit pan on it, because I am feeling like I've made some really good progress and I know that I'll be able to hit pan on it in time. And right here is a swatch of Milky Way. As you can see, again, it's a very shimmery, pearly kind of shadow. It does have a very light beige base to it. It's not quite like a true white. And then it has a ton of dynamic shimmer running through it. It has a little bit of green, a little bit of pink. They're very, very fine shimmers though, so I feel like they don't really like make the shadow reflect one certain color or have a shift in any specific color. But it does have a lot of dimension to it, and I feel like I can pair it with a lot of different eye looks because it has so much dimension to it. And this last palette I did roll in last update. This is the Urban Decay Electric palette. This is the oldest eyeshadow palette in my collection, so I was happy to roll it in because it did give me an opportunity to reach for other shades from this palette. The one that I randomly generated is probably one of my least favorite shades in this palette, which is Gonzo, and I used it actually 7 times, which shocks me because Gonzo I find very intimidating and very off-putting. When I look at this palette, it's like the one shade where I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. And yet I used it 7 times, and I used it in a very diverse amount of ways also actually over this month, which I'm really happy about. Again, this is something I think I'll just probably use for that 15 uses and then roll it out of this project because I've not yet hit pan on any of these shadows, and I've had this palette in my collection for a long time. I've used these shadows a lot. And Thrash I was working on last year in this project, and I used it so much and I never hit pan on it. So there's no way I'm going to force myself to use Gonzo for the rest of this year and probably still not hit pan on it. To be honest, if I can use it 8 times this next month, which I do think is possible, I will just roll it out next update. I'm not gonna make myself keep it in this project for 3 months if I've already reached that 15 use threshold. That was, originally it was supposed to be like both factors, but with a color like this, I'm just gonna let myself roll it out after 15 uses. So I'm gonna try to power through it this coming month, use it 8 more times, and hopefully there will be like a decent sized dip, but also that will mean I can roll something else into this project in its place. And to finish off my color story, here is the swatch of Gonzo, which is that like bright cyan blue kind of shade. It does have the very most fine shimmer running through it, but it fully functions like a matte. It looks like a matte on the lids. I think the shimmer is just to make it so it's not so hard pressed, and it makes it blend a little bit easier. It definitely has changed a little bit in formula. I've had this for so long, it's no longer on my Sephora search history. Like, I only have until my purchases from 2017 onwards. There's nothing beyond that, and I'm pretty sure I bought this palette probably in 2015. So it's getting pretty old. It's definitely aging. It still is a fun color to be playing around with. I'm happy that I got it with this color story as well as during this season. I feel like otherwise I may not have been able to make so much use out of it. And actually all of the colors that I have right now, they're really perfect for this season. So as much as I didn't hit pan on anything this month, and it honestly feels really weird not rolling something new into this project, I still have been reaching for these things so much. I've created a really good variety of different types of looks using these shadows. Like, I actually mixed this yellow and this blue together this month and made my own really bright, like Kelly green kind of shade, which I loved. It looked so good. It was so fun and fresh. And I've been having a lot of fun experimenting with these. So even though I have not hit pan, even though the progress is minimal, I still feel like it was a really good month for me, and I created so many fun looks. So that's really the point of this project more than anything else, and I'm feeling very accomplished in any case. This video does feel a little bit incomplete without rolling anything new into this project, but I'm still really happy with my progress, and I hope that you guys enjoyed watching today's video. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I know I never say this, but please consider subscribing. It would mean so much to me, but that is absolutely everything for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!